all hell has broken loose. January 19th, 1998, Steve Austin shoves Mike Tyson on Monday Night Raw at the Pyramid Arena in Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome back to Storytime here on Chaos Corner for Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. It's me, it's the GOC. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans, with the cold open here on Chaos Corner. After the Montreal screw job, as it became to be known, Vince decided to lean fully into his character on TV. Fans had already made up their minds that McMahon was an asshole for what happened to Bret. So the gasoline was right there to fuel the flames of heat around the owner of the company. As this was all happening at a time when Vince was lucky enough to find his next main guy, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he knew if he wanted to strap a rocket to him and make him the face of this whole company, then that rocket needed fuel. Well, in 1998, Vince McMahon was sure he'd found the perfect rocket fuel to launch that bald-headed, foul-mouthed Texan from stardom into mega-stardom. So that's why, on Monday night in January 1998, Mr. McMahon had horror on his face, but Vince McMahon had dollar signs in his eyes. And those dollars appearing came not a moment too soon. Remember, we're in the middle of Monday Night Wars at this point with WCW. The Monday Night War, as it became known, was a TV ratings battle between the WCW and WWF. WCW's Monday Nitro was playing on TNT the same night and time as Raw was on the USA Network. Hence the Monday Night Wars. Why are the pages sticking together? This isn't a Playboy magazine. No offense, man. Lighten up, kayfabe. It's a joke. They were aiming for, more or less, the same fan base every week. For some, the battle became personal. I know it did for Vince, as he felt Ted Turner was using his real-life billions to lure away Vince's top talent in an effort to put McMahon out of business. Maybe it was a little revenge for Vince's Black Saturday dalliance on Turner's network in 1988. You guys all remember that. Go back and do your due diligence and your research. You know what this channel's all about. So when you leave here and go to your next barbecue or family reunion, your next venue or work or the water cooler or just a conversation in a chat room, you know what the fuck you're talking about. Because you come here to learn facts and history so you can sound like you know what you're talking about in a conversation about this industry. That's why you're here. Vince's top talent in an effort to put McMahon out of business, as I just said. Maybe it was a little revenge, as I said, about Turner's network and the Black Dalliance Saturday, as I repeat it backwards, in 1988, or maybe it was just straight up business. Either way, the net effect of dwindling ratings for any TV show is cancellation. Listen up, Tony Khan and AEW, to make it current here in 2024. Although last night's MJF and Ospreay match was, as the kids say, a banger, 59 minutes plus. I thought an instant classic for a guy who's not huge on the 2024 industry. I'm just telling it like it is. I know I'm throwing in my own interjections here on Storytime, but that's what I do. That's why you're here. The loss of any of those things, but especially TV, meant financial ruin for the then family-owned WWF. TV shows were the pipeline that led to the pay-per-view and live event sales. At this point, WCW was still kicking our asses in those coveted ratings. And people say ratings don't matter. Streaming services, DVR, ratings do matter to sponsors and the TV networks. I'm just telling you, they still matter. At this point, with their NWA storytelling and their endless supply of surprise debuts of former WWF names, we felt we now had the better roster, a shifting momentum, and the better top guy in Stone Cold. It was time to go all in. Get the pun? To make sure lapsed fans and new fans alike were aware that this wasn't kids programming anymore. This was worth another look. To do that, Vince knew that he needed something that would bring us back into the mainstream conversation and carry the name of his new number one draw with it. What he needed was to find someone on the mainstream audience's mind, someone whose mere name got headlines. And in 1998, there was nothing and no one bigger in sports or entertainment than Holyfield earbiter Iron Mike Tyson. That's why, from the center of the Monday Night Raw ring, Mr. McMahon bounced with joy as he announced that he had made a deal with the man the whole world was talking about, and that was Iron Mike Tyson. He would be involved in WrestleMania just a few months later. For Mr. McMahon, that night was a celebration, a reintroduction to the mainstream, a night for the WWF to put its best foot forward and show the world once again that they were the show to watch. He was jubilant making his announcement, kind of like how Tony Khan gets. They're more similar than you would think. But just as Vince McMahon planned, the night would go horribly for Mr. McMahon, and in doing so, he would get the world talking about his company and its top star, our resident badass, Stone Cold Steve Austin, once again. Over the years, at various times across different companies, our world has been visited by Muhammad Ali, Shaquille O'Neal, Dennis Rodman, and Mr. T. We even had Arnold Schwarzenegger punch Triple H in the face one SmackDown because the game ran his mouth a little too close to the Terminator. All these cameos and many hundreds more happen mostly to expose our audience to the celeb's product or to expose the celeb's audience to our product. Hence, as I said earlier, in the 80s, in one of the golden eras of the Rock and Wrestling Connection, the war to settle the score, the brawl to settle it all, MTV, so on and so forth. Truly a great time where I was in my early and middle 20s. What a time to be around the business at that point. Where was I? And that's why Vince knew his Tyson plan going well could turn WWF's momentum around ratings-wise. I almost said ratings rise. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But if it sucked, it could hurt the biggest prospect he'd had in years. McMahon had to be careful to get the right mix of the reality of boxing and fiction of wrestling, and simply put, he needed something that would go viral before going viral was even a thing. With the newly arrived Tyson, exultant Mr. McMahon now getting pally in the Raw ring, and with celebratory feeling in the air, the mood turned quickly when the glass shattered, signaled the uninvited Austin was on his way, and as the Texas Rattlesnake stomped down the aisle, Mr. McMahon looked suddenly despondent, as if seeing his perfect coming out party suddenly go up in flames. The boss knew the resident pain in his corporate ass was here to celebrate. He was here to do what Austin did best. Raise hell. Yes, indeed, Mike Tyson is standing in Stone Cold's ring, and business is damn sure about to pick up. I wanted the first thing new ears heard to be that this was Austin's world, and the former world heavyweight boxing champion was standing in it. As Austin marched toward Tyson in the middle of the ring, the boxer's massive entourage tightened around him, leaving Stone Cold and Iron Mike Tyson eye to eye in a sea of humanity. As the crowd went bananas, Mr. McMahon looked on like his biggest birthday had just been ruined, even though nothing could have been further from the truth. Stone Cold got right in Mike's face, proceeding to talk smack to the baddest man on the planet, until Tyson, having hurting enough, shoved the defiant Austin, igniting a melee inside the ring. Tyson wants Austin. Austin wants Tyson. It's pandemonium in the WWF. The whole interaction had an edge to it. The shove Tyson gave Austin looked like an offensive lineman on a pass block. It was very snug, and it ignited the audience even more as thousands of dollars exploded from Mike's pocket in the ensuing brawl. The melee made all the headlines and put Austin in the spot he needed to be as the corporate protagonist. Say that 3 times fast. Now, wrestling is such a non-stop grind from town to town, TV taping to TV taping, that it was sometimes hard to get moments to stand out in my mind. But it hit me immediately as Tyson's entourage ran around the ring, picking up stacks of $100 bills. That was indeed awesome. Steve Austin is being restrained from attacking Mike Tyson. Austin takes pride in being the toughest SOB in the WWF. Vince McMahon said, "You've ruined it. You've ruined it." Maybe the big deal has been blown with Mike Tyson thanks to Steve Austin. This is chaotic. Austin nailed one of Tyson's people. We'll be right back. And with that piece of business, the transfer of heat between Austin and Tyson was in motion as we began a story that would peak in the main event of WrestleMania. Austin was scheduled to take on the charismatic, outgoing WWF champion Shawn Michaels, and now Iron Mike would be the special referee. This put Austin in a position to win his first ever WWF World title in a match where Tyson would bring extra eyeballs and intrigue. While Mr. McMahon would continue his hatred of Steve, Vince loved the numbers he was bringing to the company. Austin and McMahon, with a Tyson chaser, began the uptick in ratings, ticket sales, pay-per-view numbers that helped set the stage for the WWF's comeback. Mission accomplished here on Storytime with the Guardian of Chaos. Thanks for being here. We're coming right back. I'll say that to say this, because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it.